The name of the largest island in the world is a lie. The man who named it knew that the place was covered in ice. He knew that there would never be crops or trees there. But he also knew that if he told the truth, no one would follow him across such a vast ocean. So he named it Greenland. Greenland. And the island right next to it, which was really covered in green grass, remained Iceland, the land of ice. It was as if the two names had been interchanged. And that lie worked. Thousands of people set out in boats in search of greenery. They arrived at a place that is still covered in ice for more than 80% of the year. But what is hidden behind this lie is even stranger. The place is so vast that even if Bangladesh and West Bengal were put together, it would fit inside this island almost 9 times. Yet, there are only about 5,000 people on such a large landmass. An entire country with fewer people than a large stadium full of spectators. There are no roads between the cities of these 5,000 people. There are no roads, no buses, no trains. Imagine that there is no way to go from your district city to the next district. You have to go by boat or helicopter. And in winter, dog sleds pull cars over the frozen sea. And the calculation of time is different there. In summer, the sun stays in the sky for months. It doesn't set. There is daylight outside even at night. You have to look at the clock to know if it is time to go to bed. And when winter comes, it is the opposite. The sun doesn't rise for months. There is no such thing as morning. There is no such thing as noon. And there are occasional waves of green light in the sky. When you arrive in such an isolated city, the first thing you see are the brightly colored wooden houses. Red, yellow, green, blue. It seems like someone threw a handful of paint on the white snow. It looks like they were painted as a hobby because it looks beautiful like a picture, but those colors are not actually hobbies, they are a code. Red houses mean shops or churches where people gather, yellow means hospitals, green means schools, and blue means fish factories from which the entire city lives. Because when there is a snowstorm, everything becomes white in one color. The road is erased and you can't even see your own hand properly. Then that color is the only sign that remains. And the most beautiful thing is here. A person who doesn't know their language, can't read a single letter, whose baby is burning with fever in the middle of the night, doesn't need to ask anyone. He just looks for the yellow color in the snow. An entire language made of colors. Which no one made for beauty. They made it for survival. But once you open the doors of these colorful houses, a completely different world begins. A world where the known rules of the world no longer apply. 80% of the island is covered in ice. What is that ice really like? Some layers have accumulated millions of years ago. Before the animal called man even started walking on Earth. The cold immediately hits you as if you were a temporary guest here. But this ice is not sitting still. On one side of the island, there is one of the fastest flowing ice rivers in the world. An ice river is a huge stream on frozen ice. Liquid water on top of frozen water. Which slowly descends down the mountain towards the sea. It moves about 40 meters every day. And when a piece breaks off from that ice wall, you won't hear anything for the first few moments. Light reaches the eyes long before sound reaches the ears. So an ice cube the size of a 10-story building will break in front of you completely silently. It's as if someone has muted your video. The sound will come much later. With a jolt in your chest. The jolt is so big that anything far away shakes like an earthquake. Those floating in the sea are called icebergs. But what you see above the water is only a part of the whole. The remaining 9 parts are hidden under the water. Hidden from view. The iceberg that the Titanic ship hit and sank is believed to have been born in Greenland. And if you get close and listen closely, you can hear a squeaking sound. That is the sound of air bubbles bursting inside the ice. Air trapped thousands of years ago. Greenland sharks roam under this icy cold water. Of all the animals with backbones on Earth, they live the longest, up to 500 years. And the shark swimming in that water right now may have been born at the beginning of the Mughal period. The Nawab had not yet come to our place. The English had not come, nor had the country been partitioned. So many ages have passed and he is quietly floating in that dark water. But the real story of survival in this country is not that of humans. It is that of dogs. In the winter here, the engine stops. The oil freezes and turns to stone. Machines, dogs, do not give up. These sled dogs have dragged the hunters across the frozen sea and brought them back home. Every dog in the group knows where its place is. And the man also knows that if he loses his way on a stormy night, the nose of those dogs is more reliable than his own eyes. In some cities, the number of dogs is almost equal to the number of people. There, having dogs is not a hobby. It is a condition for survival. And there is a city in the south whose name means the place of the northern lights. Every spring, the floating ice floes become like a road. And the bear climbs that road and enters the village. Then the city alarm sounds. The children go inside. The door closes much earlier than usual. But people are also lost in this land of ice. Some of the people who followed that sailor had built a house in the south. A little grass grew there. Sheep grazed there, and a church was built out of the rock. For about 500 years, an entire village existed there. Then suddenly one day, they disappeared. On September 1st, 1408, a wedding took place inside that stone church. A very simple wedding. After 300 years, when the foreign ships arrived on that coast again, they saw only empty houses and standing walls. No one can say for sure why everyone disappeared. Some say the weather suddenly became colder, crops failed, some say trade with the outside world stopped, ships stopped coming. The walls of that church are still standing after 600 years. They don't give the answers, but the cold hasn't erased everything. Far to the north, a few people were found in a mountain gorge, unburied. The cold has held them for 500 years. The cold has held everything for so many years. That cold is now loosening. The ice is retreating. And other things are coming out from under it. Oil, gold, and all those rare minerals without which none of today's mobile phones, batteries or fighter jets can be made. And then you understand why there is so much interest in this icy country. In 1946, America directly offered Denmark $100 million in gold. Give us the island. Denmark did not agree. But the proposal never completely stopped. It has been revived in recent years. And today we find an incident from 1968. A U.S. plane carrying a nuclear bomb crashed on that ice. The country that once had to deceive people with the lie of green is the same country that everyone wants to buy today. But the real calculation is not money. If that ice completely melts, the world's sea level will rise by about 7 meters. Greenland is 1,000 miles away from us. And the people there do not call the island Greenland. In their own language, the name is Kalalat Nunat, land of the people. The identity of the island has been determined by outsiders for thousands of years. Its real name has been there for so long.